What's the most powerful training technique that is scientifically proven, does no harm to your dog, and is both fun and mentally stimulating for your dog? Well, the answer to that question, plus my 5 best strategies to help you maximise your training success, is coming up next. If you're just joining me, hi, I'm Dr. Lisa with VCABS, and this channel is all about giving you the best strategies, techniques, and concepts specifically related to dog behaviour and dog training. Now, in this video, I'll be talking about positive reinforcement, and I'll be sharing my 5 best strategies that will help you keep your training on track. So, let's get on with the topic of this video. Positive reinforcement, what is it and why should we use it? Positive reinforcement is a training method where we're setting our dog up for success, and this is because we're simply rewarding our dog for performing desirable behaviours, the ones that we want to see. But just as importantly, we're also ignoring the ones that we prefer not to see, the undesirable ones. Now, by rewarding our dog for performing desirable behaviours, what we're doing is we're creating pleasant associations for our dog in that environment at that point in time. And it's creating an enjoyable experience for our dog. Now, this is an important point to note because when we create a pleasant experience for our dog is going to feel calm and safe in that environment, and then we're going to build our dog's trust. Now, it's really interesting to note about dogs that they're very similar to humans because they learn to associate different environments, different situations, places, even people that are in those places with the feelings and the emotions that they're going through at that time. Now, just like us, those feelings aren't under voluntary control, and they can be either good or bad. That is, they can be pleasant or they can be unpleasant. Now, when we're creating positive associations and pleasant experiences for our dog, we are setting them up to be calm and safe in their environment, and they're going to be forming good feelings and good emotions, and that's really important, as we'll talk about next. So, positive reinforcement, it's force-free, it's scientifically proven, it's fun and mentally stimulating for our dog, and we're setting our dog up for success. So that sounds really good, but it does get even better. I'm going to share with you a very critical concept that will illustrate to you the true power of positive reinforcement. Earlier, I spoke about creating pleasant experiences for our dog to help them feel calm and safe. Now, when our dog's feeling calm and safe, they're also in an optimal state of mind. And this means that they're open to learning new things, like new behaviours, specifically desirable behaviours. And this is because the learning pathways in their brain are engaged. And when this happens, we can help our dog form pleasant memories of a pleasant experience. And when they have a pleasant memory, it's this memory that they will then draw upon so they can experience that again and again. So let's take a look at positive reinforcement in action with my little dog Marco, where he's learning by association.
Okay, so we've seen how positive reinforcement works from a theoretical point of view, but how does that translate in a practical situation? All right, so as you can see, I'm just simply offering Marco a reward, but unbeknownst to him, it's cleverly disguised. This training session is cleverly disguised as a treat session. So as you can see, Marco's just standing there being nice and quiet. He's focused on me. He's actually looking in my direction. He's not being distracted by anything else in the environment, although it is quite quiet at the moment here. But this is really powerful because I'm creating positive associations for Marco by rewarding him for this behaviour, this lovely, calm, focused, attentive behaviour. Marco. So now I'm creating positive associations with Marco's name. Marco. And by doing this, Marco, he actually understands that every time he hears his name, good things are going to happen. Off you go. Now that was a finish cue that I've just given Marco to let him know that that is the end of the training session. And yes, that was a training session because I was asking Marco to interact with me so I could then teach him something, which in this case was to just respond in a nice, calm, quiet manner in this environment.
So from that example with Marco, we could see that that was a lovely experience for him because he was being rewarded, but most importantly, he was being rewarded for a behaviour that I find desirable, that is, just standing nice and calmly and focusing on me in that environment. So the next time Marco's in that situation, he's going to associate that environment with the experience and memory of getting a reward, and he'll want to repeat that experience again and again because it was a pleasant one. So by rewarding our dog for performing desirable behaviours and ignoring the ones that we really don't wish to see, our dog is naturally going to choose to perform the behaviours that result in that pleasant experience of receiving the reward. The reward reinforces the chance or the frequency of that particular behaviour occurring in that situation again and into the future. And now for my 5 best strategies. Number 1, be prepared. Make sure that you've got a nice quiet environment, free of distractions, so you can set your dog up for success. You can have your dog's undivided attention and your dog can have your undivided attention. Start simple and be really clear. What is it exactly that you'd like to work on with your dog? Now, work on one behaviour at a time, and I recommend to write down a few little notes beforehand so you've got a really clear picture of the steps that you're going to take, and that will avoid frustrating and confusing your dog. Does your dog want to do a training session? Well, offer your dog a tasty treat first to see if they'd like to interact with you. If they take the treat, then that's a good indication to go ahead with your short training session. Now, I recommend 2 to 3 minutes maximum for each training session, and you can do a few during the day or as many as you can fit in, as long as you're feeling happy and your dog's enjoying the experience. When you've finished your training session, don't forget to give your dog their finish cue. This is a good way of telling them that there's no more treats coming and the session's over. So the training is going to take as long as it takes, so go at your own pace, don't try to break any records. Remember, it's a learning process for both of you. And patience, consistency and a sense of humour is a must because the training needs to be fun for both you and your dog. Remember, it's a journey that you and your dog are taking together, and it's ultimately going to help strengthen your bond. So what better reward could there be than that? Make sure you end each session on a positive, high note for your dog. So for example, if you're having a little bit of trouble with something, go back to where you were really successful, reward your dog, and then end your training session there. This will create a really nice memory for your dog, and they'll be even more keen to do another training session with you in the future. Thanks for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you have a question or a comment, please leave it in the section below. I'd love to hear about your training experiences and what is or isn't working for you. Now, if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Until next time, this is Dr. Lisa with VCABS, bringing you the best information and sound advice on topics related to dog behaviour and dog training. So from Marco and me, remember, stay positive and see you next time. Thanks for watching.